Morning. Most of us are dry, but already starting to notice a few showers and some heavier rainfall developing, especially across parts of the plateau this morning. That's what we'll be watching for during the day today. Just an axis of heavier rainfall that could lead to areas of flash flooding. So there is a localized flood threat with some of the rain that we see today because the overall rain is going to be pretty heavy. There's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So notice we have downpours right now from Sunbright into northern Anderson County. This is closer towards the Rocky Top area as well. And we will see more development as we approach sunrise later this morning. That'll continue into the afternoon. It's all associated with this boundary that is stalling over the area. This is what brought some of the stronger storms to Kentucky yesterday evening. Our severe threat is over with, but now the attention turns to the threat for localized spots of flooding. We're in the 70s this morning. It's a mild start. There's a lot of moisture in the air. We will see scattered showers and storms today, some of which could produce some locally heavy rainfall. We'll go over the timing and when drier conditions return coming up, because there is going to be a narrow window of rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches, and some localized areas of flash flooding will be possible. So rain coverage is going to ramp up here over the next several hours. You can already see some rain on radar stretching from Morgan County right through parts of Campbell into Anderson County, now stretching into Union County as well. This is the concern, that we're going to have just a line of thunderstorms rolling over the same location. That's why I say it's a pretty narrow window where we're going to watch for some locally high rainfall totals. So you could see repeated rounds of heavier rainfall, and just a few miles away you see very little rainfall today. That is just the setup as this boundary works its way through the area. There is a lot of moisture in the air. The comforecast shows the tropical feel, and that's why we're going to see some tropical downpours at times today. We're in the 70s right now, 78 currently in Knoxville. We will climb into the 80s today. It's not going to be as warm as what we saw yesterday. And notice the increasing chances for rain later this morning into the afternoon. And again, some of the rainfall that we do see could be locally heavy. A flood watch is posted for most of East Tennessee through this evening. For the daylight hours today, I think the better chance for some heavier rainfall is going to be pretty close to I-40, say stretching from the plateau through the Knoxville area and then closer to the Morristown area as well. So we'll be watching the rain pretty closely as we head through the afternoon. I'll show you the rainfall totals and when some less humid air returns coming up. There's going to be a swath of some really heavy rain across the area, so localized impact of 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, which could lead to areas of flash flooding. The risk will be going up here over the next several hours and continuing into tonight. So off and on periods of rain with the greatest potential for flooding in the valley and then into the mountains as we head into tonight. A lot of us are dry this morning. Our severe threat is long over with. We did have a few stronger storms yesterday evening, especially in southeast Kentucky. Today, though, we're mainly focused on the threat for some heavier rainfall. You can see there are downpours stretching from Sunbright through southern Scott County into Campbell County. This does include I-75 in Anderson County as well. So, of course, heavy rainfall could reduce visibility, and rainfall totals could add up pretty quickly in areas that see repeated rounds of heavy rain. Not dealing with any flooding this morning, but we'll be watching it into the afternoon. Here's the front that stalled over the area. It is slowing down, and that's why we're going to see repeated rounds of heavy rain, potentially moving over the same spots, and that's where you're going to see the highest potential for areas of flash flooding. You can see why. There's just so much moisture in the atmosphere. A tropical air mass, moisture levels are pretty high, and that just allows for efficient rainfall. And with slow-moving storms, these storms can dump a lot of rain in a fairly short amount of time. We're in the 70s this morning. It is a mild start. Temperatures will climb into the mid-80s today because of the clouds and increasing chances for rain. Scattered showers and storms anticipated for the afternoon, and even later this morning we'll already be starting to see some of the heavier rainfall coverage really ramping up. So the timeline here, notice what happens here over the next several hours. We're going to see rain develop. This is 8 a.m., so notice how coverage is picking up, and that continues into the afternoon. There's the axis of heavier rainfall. So the big question is where this exactly sets up, but I do think it will be pretty close to I-40 as we head through the afternoon today. So where we see these training thunderstorms, that will increase the threat for localized areas of flash flooding. That continues into the later part of this afternoon, but that boundary will continue to push further south. So the better potential for flooding tonight will start to shift to the southern valley and the mountains. Then we will dry things out really overnight into early tomorrow morning, leading to some quieter conditions for Thursday. So Thursday will set us up to have a slightly less humid feel across the area and some drier conditions as well. So we will see some soggy conditions in place for the day today with limited opportunities to rain into the day tomorrow. The flooding threat across the area, it is a medium threat overall. We'll be monitoring the risk for localized areas of flash flooding across the central part of the valley and in the mountains as we head into tonight. Notice the swath potential of localized rainfall totals of 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. So not everyone is going to see that high amount of rain, but in localized spots, that's where we have to watch for areas of flash flooding. So through the afternoon, it's going to be more so closer to the central part of our area, and then that potential for some locally heavy rainfall will start to shift a little further south and east as we head into this evening. Flood watch posted for most of the area through this evening. 8 o'clock tonight is when the flood watch will expire for most of the area, but not everyone is going to see flooding today. But do note there is that potential where we see training thunderstorms, some areas of flash flooding will be possible. So stay weather aware this afternoon with additional storms that could lead to areas of flooding. Tomorrow's not as humid with highs in the mid 80s. We will see rain chances increase this weekend, and once again, some of that rainfall could be locally heavy.
All right, thank you, Matt. Time right now is